This is a brand new Elves Falath EXP Aero race bike, and it is amazing value for money and striking to look at, but it's not without its issues, as I'll share in today's review of this new bike. I guess we should start this review with how it looks, because blow me down, that is a wild looking bike. Yeah, it's a striking thing. In a world of bikes that all look the same, this does not look the same at all. You can't accuse it of being a tarmac clone, can you? But how do you feel? Drop a comment down below to tell me if you love it or hate it. And a key feature on the bike is a hole in the seat tube. And it seems holes in frames is becoming a trend, perhaps. One started by Trek with the Madone SLR a handful of years ago. And there are shades of the Carnago Y1 RS around the seat tube, seat post design as well. And they call that hole in the seat tube the inverted triangle airflow channel, or ITAC for short. Catchy, right? And they make claims around how it reduces drag in that area, similar to the ISOFlow on a Trek Madone, I guess. But also talk a lot about the compliance benefit of the design and providing a smoother ride in the saddle than a bike without it. But the company makes no claims about how aero the bike is compared to the old bike or compared to something else on the market. But I've done my own rudimentary aero testing versus other bikes like Giant TCR and a Specialized tarmac, which I'll share later in today's video. If you ride a high-end road bike like this, insurance is a must, and Laka is one of the best options out there. Laka works differently, no fixed premiums, just a fair share of the collector's claims up to a capped amount, saving you money compared to conventional policies. And you're covered for theft, damage, liability and legal support, and with no 12-month contract, your cover can adapt to your riding season, whether you're racing, travelling or just taking a break. It's smart, flexible and made for real cyclists, and as a viewer of Just Ride bikes, you can now enjoy 30 days of free bicycle insurance with code JUSTRIDE at the laka.co website, linked in the description down below. And it does create a very striking look, doesn't it? This hole just here, the way the seat tube flares up into the rear stays, which are not dropped, and a very, very deep down tube, massive fork blades, and that head tube as well, and a step down head tube for a stem a la Ridley, but not as extreme. We have one piece Aero carbon handlebar and stem, nice and narrow, flared drops, internal routing. The seat mast design that gives you 3 or 4 inches of up and down adjustment, enough for anybody riding the size frame this should be on. So that should help address any resale value concerns around seat masts, but does create another big issue, as I'll share later in the video. So it looks aero, but it also looks heavy as well. And it is heavy. It's 8 kilograms on my scales. And that, simply put, is far too heavy for an aero race bike in 2025. Worth mentioning, there are inner tubes in the wheels, so going tubeless would save a few hundred grams perhaps, but still 8 kilos. I mean, that's the weight of an aero bike from 5-10 years ago, not 2025, when we're seeing aero bikes really become as light as once lightweight bikes. So that sort of all-rounder, one bike to do everything. This bike definitely isn't a climbing goat, is it? But there is a redeeming factor, the price. The frame set on its own is £912 or $1,200, which is far cheaper than a Specialized tarmac S-Works. You buy 4 of these for the price of that tarmac, so it's a bargain. And a complete bike, as you see it, with the company's own wheels, the handlebar, the 3D saddle, retails at launch for £4,500. And to put that price in perspective, just to give you some sort of reference point, it's about £2,000 cheaper than a Giant Propel or a Canyon Aero with similar parts. And to get a Canyon Aero at the same price, you step down to a Shimano 105 Di2 group set, which is still a good group set, but not Ultegra in terms of the hierarchy of group sets. Another redeeming factor is the choice of paint finishes. 7 colours to choose from, very bold and wild, as you can see, and also you can customise the paint for no extra money, and that's really nice. That specialized tarmac comes in 2 colors, and that's it. And that is really appealing. And why bigger bike brands can't offer that level of choice and customization in the same way you can when you buy a brand new car is beyond me. So, as the bike nearly blows over, that's a big Aero down tube catching the gusty wind today. So, it looks Aero, it's quite heavy on the scales, it's good value for money, and you customize it to your heart's content. But how's it ride? Well, let me get change and we'll find out. Right, here we are then. And first impressions, well, despite their crazy looks, it feels very normal from where I'm sitting right now. I've got a nice fit on the bike and a nice stack to reach ratio, which I like. It feels good, it feels very racy. I love the narrow handlebar, the flare drops, and quite a nice shape on the tops as well, and a very comfy saddle too. One thing that really impressed and surprised me, if I'm honest, is just how smooth the bike is. Comfort is fantastic, really very good indeed. No doubt helped by the fact we have 32mm wide tyres on the bike, so really maxing out tyre clearance on the frame and the fork. So it's really composed on a range of road surfaces, from silky smooth to rough and hardcore. Blimey, it's windy today. One sizable downside to the bike, it's a big slab-sided Aero profile, do catch a crosswind. It's very windy today, very blustery, and the bike isn't very easy to ride one-handed at all. It's very susceptible to catching the crosswinds, so not very stable at all. So if you ride somewhere windy, which many of you will do, this isn't a bike for those days. So Elves have definitely made a bike that handles very well and offers a fantastic comfort. But is it fast? So to find out just how fast the new bike actually is in the real world, I've been around the Just Ride bike test track to see how it stacks up against some rivals. And riding at 32 kilometers per hour or 20 miles per hour, it recorded an average power of 194 watts, which, as you can see from the leaderboard, puts a bang slap in the middle and the same as a specialized tarmac. So that's one test with not much climbing. So I also went out the other day around a hillier route of 15 kilometers in length and rode it against the giant TCR. So a heavy Aero bike versus a lighter weight non-Aero bike. And the difference again surprised me, because riding at the same speed, the Elves was marginally faster by a few seconds, but also required fewer watts, less power than a TCR. So despite not feeling very quick at all, it's surprisingly rapid in the real world. But let me head back to the studio to share some likes and dislikes and give my verdict on a brand new bike. So first dislike on my list is the seat post slipping on the first ride, despite doing a bolt up to the recommended 8 Newton meters, which is quite high compared to the 5 or 6 you normally see on a seat post clamp. And it kept slipping throughout the entire ride, really annoying and frustrating as well. So I got back home and then took the seat post out, put some carbon anti-slip paste on the seat post all around the inside of the frame as well, and tightened the bolt up to 9 Newton meters. And for the second ride and every successive ride since, it's been okay. But when a seat post slips on a road bike, you do sort of lose your confidence in the seat post slipping, because when a seat post slips, it's quite alarming and just not very pleasant at all. And I went back to Elves and told them about this issue, and they said they've had a few teething issues. This is only their second bike in the UK, and they now recommend between 9 and 12 Newton meters for that bolt. But that seems awfully high to me. And when doing that bolt up with a torque wrench to 9 Newton meters, it does feel awfully tight, like you're really pushing it harder than it wants to go. It doesn't fill you with confidence at all. But like I say, since then it's been fine, but a seat post slipping in 2025 shouldn't be an issue, shouldn't be something we're talking about. Issue number 2 for me, and it relates to my pedaling style, I'm quite knee in, the top tube is too wide and my knees rub the top tube. I had the same issue on the Orbea Orca earlier this year. So for me, the top tube is simply too wide for my pedaling style. It's something I can adapt to, but I'd rather not. And the last negative really is the buying process. But I know the team in the UK are working really hard on making it easier and more seamless to buy an Elves frame or a custom build from them. But ultimately you are buying direct from China, and the delays and potential customs import duties as well. So that's an unknown grey area compared to going to a local bike shop and buying a brand they might stock. But there are positives as well, mainly the price. And price is a big reason for choosing an Elves over a Canyon, a Trek or a Specialized. There's also the level of customization available in how the bike looks. With 7 stock colors, far more than the 1 or 2 you get from other bike brands, which is really appalling in 2025. And then for no extra fee, you can go custom as well. So all things considered then, it's a bike that does offer good value for money and is cheaper than most mainstream rivals. And if you don't mind the weight or the way it looks and you want that level of customization in the paint department, it's a bike to consider. But with the issues I found and discovered during testing, and against the backdrop of many very, very good bikes that offer none of the downsides this one presented in terms of high weight, the crosswind instability and that seat post slipping and the wide top tube, makes it a bike I find hard, if I'm honest with you, to recommend. I mean, would you buy this or a Canyon Aero with a 105 Di2 group set, for example? I mean, that group set is heavier than Ultegra, but functionally the same. It's a tough one. Anyway, I'll put a link to the Elves website down below in the description box if you want to find out more. And if you've got any comments, questions about the bike, feel free to put them down below. And if you want to see a review of some of the best Aero carbon road bikes available right now, then watch this video right here.